Apparently, we are getting some new Attack on Titan chapter. I got an article pulled up right here. I'll read it real quick. It says, Hajime Isayama announces new Attack on Titan manga for April 2024. On Saturday, September 30th, 2023, Attack on Titan manga author and illustrator Hajime Isayama announced a new volume entry for his series, which is set to release in Japan in April 2024 in Japan. The new release will have a complete illustrations art book for the series, which will also include a new 18-page entry for the franchise titled Volume 35, which clearly that's him getting one more dig at some volume sales on this. Let's keep it all the way real, because that is probably going to sell like 1 million copies as well. While it's unclear what this new Attack on Titan manga entry will cover, fans are certainly not holding back from speculating its content. In fact, some are even expressing concern over the upcoming entry following the highly controversial extra pages that Isayama added in the previously final volume's release. Because in case you don't know, after the massive backlash of the ending of Attack on Titan in the manga, people freaking hated it. People said it was garbage. I was along the ride at that particular time of not liking it. Over time, I've grown a little bit more fond of the ending of Attack on Titan, but I'm still not like, yeah, Attack on Titan's the greatest thing in the world. But because it started off, well, the ending was already, he got backlash, and then he added some extra pages that kind of changed some things, but it got people even more mad because some of the people that supported the original ending felt betrayed. The other people felt like it still wasn't enough. So it's been very controversial. So now him adding that there's going to be a new chapter, this 18-page new chapter, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this new chapter, so to speak, this 18-page chapter that he's going to add is not going to be like the most pivotal thing. I'm going to say that maybe Isayama learned his lesson. Well, it could go two ways. I'll give it that. It could go two ways, of course. I'm going to say that Isayama learned his lesson, and this is not going to be the most important chapter. That this is going to basically be, I don't want to say filler, but maybe it'll be like, if y'all remember that one-shot Issei's Journal, where we first saw like a Titan talking, something like that. I think it could be something along those lines. It could be like a prequel chapter, or something that doesn't really mess with too much of what's been established as the ending. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that, but there's also many different possibilities. I mean, if Isayama wanted to, he could literally make this like, oh, this is how I'm gonna start up for my spin-off sequel, because Hajime Isayama hasn't done anything since Attack on Titan ended. He literally has not done a new manga, nothing since, the manga ended. Now, granted, the anime is still ongoing, and he's made millions and millions of dollars, so he's, I imagine millions of dollars. So I'm imagining he's just kicking it back or whatnot, but this right here, first of all, nice money grab at the end of the illustration book with a new chapter. Most fans are going to be like, my collection ain't complete unless I get one more. So that's going to do probably 1 million copies or whatnot. At the very least, over time, it'll do 1 million copies. So another payday for him. And at the same time, he might be looking to utilize that as the springboard, the true springboard for a spinoff. Because the way Attack on Titan ends, without me getting into it or whatnot, it leaves room for potentially a sequel or a spinoff of sorts. So maybe this could also be that. This could kind of be like, think 7 Deadly Sins. Those 2 3D movies that is kind of like a bridge between 7 Deadly Sins and 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. Maybe this could be something along those lines. Maybe this could be something that he's going to have so that it could eventually get adapted. Or it could be him making a horrible mistake, because the biggest mistake he could make with this final chapter is to make it that it somehow messes again with that finale, like he does some extended scenes or does something extra to like those moments of that finale. I don't think he should, like, you already seen what happens when you touch the beehive, right? When you touch the beehive and you got honey on your hands, you're gonna get stung, homie. I don't think you should mess around at all. Like, if you're gonna set up for the spin-off sequel thingy majig, then I guess do it. I know there's a lot of people that are against it. Me, I'm here for whatever it is. Like, at the end of the day, it's his creation, it's his work, it's his life. So I'm probably gonna, if it's a spin-off sequel that's good, I might check it out. I'm gonna be honest, I might check it out. But I'm going to lean towards, out of all the options that are on the table, of anything that he could do with it, I'm going to lean that it's not going to be the most important thing in the world. That he's going, 1, to get the bag, because he knows people are going to run out and buy this. 2, he knows that time is almost up for Attack on Titan, as far as, like, once this last special drops, That's it. There's no more link to the mainstream with $1 million, productions behind it or whatnot. So he knows if he's gonna get a bag, and I'm sure Kodansha and Besatsu Shonen Magazine, everybody involved is like, we can get one more bag. We can get one more bag before the shebanga is up. So maybe that's also what's on their mind. But I don't think that Isayama is going to give us something that is going to be like, oh my god, this was so badly needed. Oh my god. But I could be wrong. The smarter thing to do is, if there is a sequel that is happening regardless, a spinoff, and it's like already solidified, the smart thing to do would be to utilize this as like the gateway to get to that point. That would be the smart thing to do. Not to mention, I remember hearing that there was supposed to be an announcement with the ending of Attack on Titan of sorts. I think we actually reported on that on Forever News, that there's supposed to be some big announcement coming around the time that Attack on Titan's anime ends. I'm going to imagine that that's going to be the announcement of a sequel spinoff. So this could be the announcement as well. This might be what they're talking about. This might be like Attack on Titan Next Generations or whatever, or Attack on Titan 2 Blue Vortex, That very well could be the case. I mean, personally, I'm going to read that chapter for sure. It's just a matter of, if it's worthy of talking about it, of course I'll talk about it here on a stream or whatnot. Get a last, talking to the Attack on Titan manga. But yeah, it could be a multitude of different things, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me see what y'all talking about here. Yeah, new Attack on Titan chapter. There's a new Attack on Titan chapter coming next. Is it next month or this month? No. I'm sorry. I'm bugging out. I'm super bugging out. Yeah, and it's set to release in April 2024. God, my brain is all over the place. Essentially, I think that this is gonna be something though that they're gonna utilize to get that cash grab going. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really not a fan of how they did this finale, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me that this was just a train wreck of a release for the ending. From going from the first 3 seasons, like every step of the way almost with Attack on Titan has been colossal problems. Like we went, what was it? From 2013 to 2017 with no anime. There were, like season 1 to season 2, it was like 4 or 5 years in between them, right? So that was already a big thing. Like by the time you get to season 2, most people, they couldn't wait and they read the manga because the mysteries and suspense of the series was so incredibly rich that a lot of people were like, I'm not waiting. You crazy? Waiting? We ain't waiting. We want to read this right now. You know what I mean? So that was a big mistake. Then after that, you get season 3, which it got everyone back involved. You saw the art, the animation, you saw Levi fighting the Beast Titan, you saw all of those things going down, and a lot of people got back on board. And then you have that time skip, and switching studios after season 3 for season 4 and beyond. And that right there was a little jarring for some people. It was, slight changes with the character design. For me personally, I was like, whatever, it wasn't a big deal. But, so you had that. Then you had, the final season part 1, final season part 2, final season part 3, the final season special, final season second special. Like that, if you want to know a secret recipe on how to turn people off to your series, if you want to know a secret recipe on how to make people not give a rat's ass about what you got going on, do that. Because most people at this point are like, I don't even know where I left off at. I don't know where to get into. Like, So that was just like, the naming has just been horrible. They tried to do what Naruto did with the last or whatnot, but at least Naruto only did that with one movie. You know what I'm saying? It was one movie, Naruto the last, and then they did Boruto, and that was the end of it. This thing is the final for years. It's been what? 3 years? Going on 4 years of the final. It's ridiculous. And I get it that literally Attack on Titan is like Dragon Ball Z or One Piece. It's pretty much like One Piece for Kodansha. Attack on Titan is the most popular title they've ever had, period. Like, they've had some big hitters and all of that jazz in their heyday. Fairy Tail was huge. 7 Deadly Sins was huge. They've had their hits. Tokyo Revengers, huge. But Attack on Titan not only was Attack on Titan huge, it was a global phenomenon. The same way like Kagurabachi, for example, is getting memed all over the place, that new manga and whatnot. Attack on Titan's opening was memed with absolute love and adoration everywhere when that came out. From Goofy sings, "We are the prey and we are the hunter." Like, I saw any possible parody you could think of, from Dragon Ball to say anything you could think of. I saw parodies for Attack on Titan opening 1. Like, that took people by storm. I'll never forget, I was like in Tennessee. This is like 2015. I'm in Tennessee at some random restaurant, and some old ass white dude, I think I had like Attack on Titan shirt on or something. He says, "That's the Attack on Titans, right? Oh god, I love them Attack on Titans, man." I was like, yo, oh shit, this hit the mainstream, you know what I mean? So Kodansha, they are holding so tight. They are holding it so tight, like, oh, you know, we don't want to let this go because it made them so much money. It's literally like, you know, they're, I don't know, Hulk Hogan to wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that big iconic thing that they have, and I don't think they're gonna want to let it go. And I could be wrong, but I don't think that they're gonna just let it sail like that. I'm surprised they let Tokyo Revengers in like that. So pretty much the reason why Hunter x Hunter is a topic right now is, after 7 months, Yoshihiro Togashi posted an image of a storyboard with a ruler and wrote "Start Over." And this was about a couple of hours ago now that he did this. He posted a picture of a storyboard with a ruler and said "Start Over," meaning he's back on it with drawing the next chapters for Hunter x Hunter's manga return. And I'm always at this point slightly conflicted. I'm very much so stern on how I feel, but I'm still slightly conflicted on one hand, it's always like, yo, the GOAT is back. The GOAT is back. Because Yoshihiro Togashi, regardless of hiatuses and all that other stuff, he is one of my all-time favorite mangaka. Like Yu Yu Hakusho, you know, I go back and forth with Yu Yu Hakusho and Naruto, but, you know, my bias in me is Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime of all time. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho has saved my life. It got me through so many different things. And Naruto did too, but it's just something different about Yu Yu Hakusho. Literally, the name Forever, you know, the part of Forever World, Forever, came from Yu Yu Hakusho. It's really personal for me when it comes to Yu Yu Hakusho. So on one hand, anytime I see, yo, Yoshihiro Togashi's moving, let's go, I'm like, yeah. But realistically, I can't really say that I'm so hyped because, one, I'm like 2 or 3 hiatuses behind at this point. Like, I literally, like, stopped, you know, reading as soon as there's new chapters because I recognize, like, man's going to put out 5 to 10 chapters and disappear for another year or 2. So I'm already a few hiatuses behind. And also, realistically, and maybe this could be different because of what's happened. We'll talk about that in a second. But realistically, we know that... Shit, I just lost my train of thought. Realistically, we know homie's going to go on hiatus at some given point. Like, it's going to be like, here's a bunch of chapters, and he's going to dip out. Again, it could be different because there's a couple of reasons. One, Hunter x Hunter will no longer be in Shonen Jump. That was announced at the end of the last run, that it's when it returns, they're you know, they were figuring it out where it's going to return, but it won't be in weekly Shonen Jump anymore. So that's a very big difference of he's no longer tied to a serialization being weekly. More than likely, wherever he returns, I got to imagine it's either going to be in a quarterly magazine, a digital like Jump Plus, or monthly magazine. Now, out of all of those options, I would say the safest bet to make sure that Yoshihiro Togashi doesn't run off and start telling us about his back and all of these things is monthly. It can't be. I know we would love monthly, even if it was one weekly chapter a month. That's not happening. In fact, I'm going to bet, and this is conspiracy brain or whatnot, I'm going to bet that this picture that he's showing is probably literally one of maybe a couple hundred that he took on his way to drawing this. I'm willing to bet that all of this is already drawn. He's not drawing right now. He's been drawing all this stuff, and this is a marketing campaign of it's probably not going to be in Weekly Shonen Jump anymore, guys. So let's set him up with Twitter. While you know the last run of him being on in Weekly Shonen Jump, let's set him up with Twitter, and every time he posts some stuff on there, it'll be traction to get people to talk about Hunter x Hunter. But monthly wise, I don't think that that's going to be the wave for him. Like that is too much of a dedication for homie. So I'm guessing that the best bet would be even. Because then, you know, Jump Plus, like, you could literally upload whenever. Jump Plus, there is no schedule. It's not like a weekly thing. It's just digital only. So I think that would be a mistake because then Togashi's really going to just sit back and be like, yo, I'll be back. And he's going to carry on with, like, if it returns in Jump Plus 110% you can expect hiatuses yet again, because at that point, like, he got free reign. He could just come, drop off the chapters, and bounce. Like, there is no, regulations or anything like that. So if he returns in Jump Plus, expect hiatuses. In fact, his return in general, expect hiatuses regardless. You know what I'm saying? Just expect it, and whatever comes from it, but expect him to go on break. The quarterly release is the best bet at having regularly scheduled chapters from Yoshihiro Togashi. Once every, what would that be? 3, 6, 9, every 3 months, like Black Clover. Like that doesn't sound like a bad magazine. If he returns to Jump Giga, and it's like every issue of Jump Giga, you have Black Clover. I think D. Gray Man is in there, and Hunter x Hunter. Oh, Jump Giga's sales is going up. Yesterday's price for Jump Giga will not be today's price if Hunter x Hunter returns and Jump Giga with Black Clover and D. Gray Man. Because now you cooking something. Now you got like what, let's be real. Before Dragon Ball Super and Boruto, next to no one gave a rat's tail about V-Jump. V-Jump had like, to give you an idea, it had like the Dragon Ball SD, it had like Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals, it had stuff like that for the most part nobody really cared. Like, it had a One Piece spin-off of them as kids. It was like, not as kids, I'm sorry, as like in school I think it was or whatnot. Nobody really cared. Just being honest, nobody cared. Once you put Dragon Ball Super and Boruto in there, we're talking about V-Jump every single month. You do that for Jump Giga you already have D. Gray Man, but D. Gray Man, let's be real, it doesn't have the biggest fan base, especially in the West. Like, it has a fan base, sure, but not enough to sustain a whole magazine. Now you got Black Clover in there. Black Clover got a lot of fans, regardless of whatnot. I got a lot, especially that anime fandom, it's different. So now you got 2, and then if you had Hunter x Hunter in there, now you got like its own little big 3 going on in Jump Giga. And a lot of people go. So that's what I'm hoping for Hunter x Hunter, for the fandom, for Yoshihiro Togashi, for all of that is Jump Giga. Because there's no way you can't tell me that Yoshihiro Togashi can't hand in a 20 to 30 page chapter every 3 months. At that point, it's like, bro, you're abusing. Like, you already abused a long time, bro. You're already like a little too much or whatnot. But if you can't hand in 1 chapter every 3 months, when you got fans, waiting at your beck and call, I don't know what to tell you, homie. Literally, you have all year basically to draw this stuff. In fact, right now, let's just say he has 10 chapters ready to be dropped off. Literally, he has chapters for the next how many years? You know what I'm saying? So I hope they go that direction. Obviously, the writing would have to be a little bit different just because if it's a quarterly drop, you need to have big plot progression every chapter. That's the catch, I guess it would be. Like, every chapter, you can't have those weekly chapters that is just like exposition, nothing happened. Hunter x Hunter has to return with purpose. It has to return with like, holy, whoa, this is crazy. There's a lot, you know what I'm saying? It has to have a lot of substance if it goes that route. So that's the only catch with that one. But I still would say Jump Giga, which is crazy. Most people would be like, Jump Giga? No, Jump Giga would be the best course of action for Hunter x Hunter to return. It'll stay on schedule. Yoshihiro Togashi won't be pressured for a weekly release or even a monthly release. Hunter x Hunter will never have to go away. But only time will tell how that goes, and it remains to be seen where it's going to go, because all we got right now is Yoshihiro Togashi basically saying that he's back. You know what I'm saying? Monthly would be nice, but realistically, I don't trust Togashi. Like, all due respect, I don't trust him that he's going to be able to stay monthly. Even if he's giving us weekly chapters, I don't trust that he'll, you know what I'm saying? He's going to give us, a few months, and then that's it, my back, and he's out of here. I think 3 months, 1 chapter, come on, dog. That is more, like, to put it into perspective, as a matter of fact, if it was Jump Giga, and he did try to pull that, at that point, there's a little bit of, I guess you could say, credence to be able to say, yo, Togashi, now you caught red-handed playing, and I'm going to tell you why. Because D. Gray Man is in Jump Giga, and the author D. Gray Man has been serialized in Jump Giga and hasn't missed a beat, if I'm not mistaken, for a few years now. And this is that the author of D. Gray Man has literally had heart surgery, has had heart problems, and hasn't missed a beat since they started serialization back up in Jump Giga over the last few years. Like, they took a long stretch off. D. Gray Man was on hiatus for a hot minute, and since D. Gray Man returned, I don't even know, maybe like 5-6 years ago, it has been just new chapter. So if with heart surgery and heart problems, the author D. Gray Man can be, reasonable and not like there's no way. Like at that point, it's like, yo, Togashi, we get it, bro. You're back. Stop it already. But we'll see. We'll see. What do y'all think, though? Let me know. Which version do you think Hunter x Hunter should return via? Should it be via Jump Plus, digital only, Jump Giga, where every 3 months, or something monthly? I don't know, whatever monthly magazine. I ain't gonna lie, I guess there's a fourth option, and I don't know if they would allow it. I doubt they would allow it. There's a fourth option, and I guess it's not necessarily about the month or the timely manner, but if Hunter x Hunter returned in a seinen magazine, now that I think about it, oh, they would. It's possible, and I'm gonna tell you why. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure went seinen. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think from part 7 on, was a seinen. So it went from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the shonen manga, to a seinen manga. So there's a huge possibility that Hunter x Hunter, that feels like a seinen at times, could very well return in a seinen magazine, rebranded as like a little bit darker, and now it's seinen. If it went that direction, again, I don't know where the last hiatus left us at, so I can't really call it like, yo, it's perfect for it to go and run it up being like a little bit more grittier, edgier, or whatnot. But that would be a move. Are there any Shueisha released quarterly magazines for seinen? Like, I feel like if there's one, that would be the ideal. A quarterly release seinen magazine with Hunter x Hunter. Oh, that at that point would probably be peak Hunter x Hunter. There would be zero excuses. Nothing holding him back of like the shonen brand or whatnot. Nothing that he has to be too dedicated to every month or every week or anything like that. That would be, oof. You'd have the fan base that ain't going to let up because they buy like 1 million copies every time he drops, no matter what. He could go 5 years with saying, I'm sorry, I'm not returning. And as soon as he comes back, they're like, yes, but we'll buy anything you say. Give us whatever you want. We love you. We love you. We love you. Like, that would be ideal. It's going to be in Jump Giga or Jump Plus with no schedule releases, just so he can rest whenever he wants. I think the move would be Jump Giga. Unfortunately, I think Yoshihiro Togashi's track record shows that Jump Plus would be where he would rather be. Because it's like, I can drop whenever the hell I want now. No pressures no more. No weekly nothing. That's it. It's done. So for starters, I had seen, one of the first things I saw was that MAPPA had just made the Jujutsu Kaisen staff, and again, Studio MAPPA, one of the most notorious studios. They did Vinland Saga Season 2, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, a lot. But MAPPA Studios has just made the Jujutsu Kaisen staff sign confidentiality contracts so that they do not express complaints about the production. Somebody else wrote, sad news coming out of MAPPA. These animators deserve to be treated like humans and allowed to leave the office. Apparently, some of these people are speaking out, and they said that they got their beds at their desk at Studio MAPPA. And then I seen a couple other ones. I wish I still had them. I accidentally freaking deleted the screenshots. It was in Japanese translated of some of the MAPPA Studios animators speaking out. Let me see if I could, just give me 1 second. Let me see if I could find it. There was a couple of the animators that actually spoke out and essentially was like, yo, but if I told the world what's really going on here, they would be devastated. Pretty much MAPPA employees are speaking out that like, yo, this is crazy what's being done to them. And I'm gonna keep it real. I've been telling y'all for how long now, bro? I'm gonna keep it so real. Like, how many years have I been saying about MAPPA Studios, dog? Like, I want to say it was during production for the Chainsaw Man anime. One of the biggest things I remember saying was, yo, dog, they announced that they made it so that the animators could literally, they built an entire new building, literally an entire new MAPPA Studio building, so that the animators could essentially just live there and just work all day and all night. So the fact that you're getting all these, Attack on Titan final season, all of these high quality animations and whatnot is, at the cost of these animators' lives. Like, literally, when I spoke about it, there's always an excuse, and, the bots come out, and the bots will bot it up or whatnot, but there's always bots coming out to defend, like, when the director of Attack on Titan came out, and he had giant bags, like, oh, no, he has a condition, like, What? I've never heard of somebody that has a condition that looks like they haven't slept for 100 years. I mean, I'm sure there is something out there. I'm not trying to offend or anything like that. But to me, it looked more like it goes in line with everything else that we've heard of about what's happening at Studio MAPPA, that they are basically being enslaved into working at this company because they love making anime and they get an opportunity of a lifetime to work at one of the biggest studios. And it's like, wait a minute, I gotta live here? Wait a minute, I don't get to sleep? And then, of course, you got to add in all of the societal things about Japan that most people are completely oblivious to and don't know about. Like, I watched documentaries on how cruel it is in the workforce in Japan. Like, I remember there was one documentary I watched where homie was like, yo, I'm literally living in a new thing called the working poor, where he works, but he was still poor. He literally lived in his apartment was like, you know how we joke about like New York City is like living in a closet for blah, blah, blah. No, homie's apartment was literally like in a closet, and the entire building, every apartment was literally like a tiny little closet so they could fit as many people in there as possible. And I remember him being at his workplace, and if you didn't shave enough, if you had like a tiny little hair on your face from not shaving properly, your boss would come up to you and pluck that hair out of your face, right in your face, and scream at you and embarrass you and stuff like that. And this is all okay. So you have all of those societal pressures on top of that. I couldn't imagine what's going on in Studio MAPPA. If they're making them sign these confidentiality agreements, that means that some bad stuff has already happened and people are probably going off the rails over there right now. So you got that. You got on top of the fact that if you disappoint your family, you know, these people, like, they're seriously on edge over there. Like, there's a problem over there in Japan that doesn't get discussed enough because, you know, every censorship with the media not talking about things that need to be talked about or whatnot. Like, over there, it became such a norm for businessmen that if they shamed their family or whatnot, or they did something that was shameful towards, you know, themselves, they would literally just go from work with their briefcase, and as soon as they see a train coming by, just jump in front of the train. Like, suicide over there in Japan doesn't get talked enough of, like, yo, this is a serious problem, bro. Like, people are at an alarming rate doing these things. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Like, I can't disappoint my family. I can't, you know, embarrass shame my family by walking out of this or getting into a big situation. So let me just be quiet. So they are literally being tortured by societal norms, societal, you know, structure, whatnot. You know, they're saying the nail that sticks out gets hammered in. These are all the indoctrinations that they have over there in Japan. So they have all of that laying on top of them, on top of the fact that this is their dream job. They wanted to be animators, on top of the fact that they're living in this compound that Studio MAPPA made, on top of the fact that now they're going a step further to legally bind them that you can't say nothing wrong about us, because they already know historically when somebody speaks out, all of us are going to come together and say, nah, fuck you, what the fuck? They got these people lit. Like, don't get me wrong, I've for a long time had a bed, you know, and a lot of my places and whatnot, I have my desk and then I have a bed right there and whatnot. But it's that I can leave whenever I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a boss that's going to pluck my, even though I've got really a mustache, whatnot, but there's not a boss that's going to pluck my beard hair like, yo, sit down. You know what I mean? There's no boss or whatnot. Over there, it sounds like they're literally trapped in a different crazy hell. And my heart goes out to them tremendously. So this right here should be a stark reminder to all of those fans that they be there like, oh, it looks like they did CGI with Gojo. Bro, these people are in hell. Understand that. These animators in Japan, Studio MAPPA, all of these things, they're in hell. They're literally tricked into their dream job that they think is going to be their dream job, only to be locked in a compound. Lay off with the threats. Like the whole stuff we just talked about on Forever News with the Bleach anime, how Bleach animators were like, yo, relax, we will walk away, we don't care. Y'all better stop threatening us. They are in hell. And y'all talking to them all of this stuff. Y'all need to relax. Y'all really need to relax, because these are people's lives that are on the line at this point. I get it. Some of the, you know, trolls will be trolls or whatnot, but some of that shit where it's be like trending, F this person, F that person. Do you realize what type of pressure is on these people's minds because of society's indoctrinations on you can't shame your family? Pretty much you got to be a slave, or if you're not a slave to everything that they tell you, you're shaming your family. And these people literally will take their briefcase and jump in front of a train. That's why they literally had to build in a lot of train stations over there in Japan these automatic rails that if a train is not there, there's automatic automatic rails that go up in front of the tracks, so you can only go into the past those rails once the train is there. They pull the rails down or whatnot. That's how bad it is, and that's what could inevitably be a potential possibility of one of these animators saying, yo, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna walk to the train real quick. And we don't want that, do we? No. So at the very least, if we're going to be here and just pretend like we don't see what's going on, no matter how many stories, like, bro, I did so many For Never News stories that got hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands of views. I want to keep on stressing that. There's millions, basically, of views of me talking about the horrible working conditions of the Japanese and the animation industry in particular, and nothing gets done about it. At the very least, if we're not gonna, make a big, like, okay, we're not watching anime for a while until they sort this out, that's it, then at the very least we can do is be fucking human and not attack these people and, straight up drag them on a weekly basis because Gojo's elbow was a little bit off model or something. Come on. And I'm sorry if I sound a little bit too passionate about this or whatever, but I just gotta keep it real, dog. Like, I don't like this. I don't like any type of slavery in any format, and these people are basically being slaves locked in a compound. And it's sad if you think about it. Like, imagine the 18-year-old or the 20-year-old that this has been their dream. They've been wanting to. They read manga all their life, and they're like, yes, I finally get to make anime for Studio MAPPA. Oh, my God, they're giving me a job. They're offering me an apartment. And then you recognize and realize what you're really being tricked into. And by the time you're in there, it's too late. You told your family already, yo, I'm working for Studio MAPPA. I'm drawing Jujutsu Kaisen right now, dog. This is crazy. And you realize, oh, I am living. This is my life from now on, period. This is why authors, like, I wouldn't be surprised if author Ruri Dragon from, what was it, from Shonen Jump, how, like, homie dropped like 6 chapters, 8 chapters, enough for a volume, and then disappeared. Probably homie said, oh, this is the life of a mangaka, working 21 hours, hunched over on a desk? Yeah. I don't want to do it. I'm going to shame my family, but I'm not going to jump in front of a train. I'm going. Bye. Damn, it feels like I'm drowning and I can't catch my balance. Trying to balance good and bad, this and that. Someone help me find the balance. But I know it's all inside my head. If I could master this, I'll be a better me. It's all in me, it's all on me. Hidden deep beneath, if I could find it, you will see it's simply who I need to be. Raise the veil. This is Timothy.